Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with me, Diamond Racing, and my dog, Amber. She really wants to be in this video today. In any case, let's talk about that Spa race. That was a very interesting one. The closest finish, 1-2-3, since 2016. Do you mind? Since 2016. And that was amazing. Russell did an amazing job, but only got disqualified, which is very sad for him. And then we had Hamilton getting another win this season when I didn't even think he'll get one. And Piastri being number 2. What a crazy race. Verstappen, I really thought would dominate this race. Okay, would really dominate this race. But that didn't happen. And then Norris just couldn't overtake him. So that was a really crazy race, if you ask me. Some news: Williams have confirmed Carlos Sainz will be driving for them for 2 seasons plus, if he wants to renew his contract at that time. What? And then Perez will be staying at Red Bull, which, if you watch my video tomorrow, you'll see if that is a mistake or not. Maybe not tomorrow, but the next video I'll make. Okay. The trash compacted truck thingy is here, so she's shaking like a baby because she doesn't like the truck for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, there she goes. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So let's get into the rankings. I'll go from my last to first. Sorry, 20th to first. Sorry, the dog is going crazy now because of the trash car thingy. So yeah. Otherwise, this was an amazing race. Good to have a little bit of a break. And yeah, if you like this kinds of videos, ranking and talking about the race, please like and subscribe. My not my mid-season, my summer break video will be out this week. So let's get started with honorable mentions being Zhao Guanyu and Yuki Tsunoda. I'm not going to talk about and rank them because it's really hard to rank them if they only competed in one session. So that's why I made this new section, which is the honorable mention section. Zhao only did qualifying because his race, he only did 1 lap before his car started to give up on him. So his qualifying was really bad, very bad from Zhao. I think he was my worst driver of the qualifying, and yeah, he just doesn't do a good job at this moment. And my other honorable mention is Yuki Tsunoda. I don't think he pushed at all in qualifying. I don't think you can rate him on that. So that's why he's only ranking in the race. And he actually did a very good race. He made a joke starting from Zandvoort, finishing 16th. Isn't that bad, or 17th? But he had a decent race, not great. I think his team had a better race, but he still had a good job. So this is the best I think he could have done in that car in the place where he started. So let's start with last place in 18th, and that's going to be Sergio Perez. Now people would say, oh no, Perez started P3. He was 0.6 seconds behind Max. That's stupidly far behind. I was happy he was starting third or second, but still that's like freaking far behind. I don't know how much of a advantage the new engine gives in qualifying. That's why I still give him a good enough position, but his race was just as bad. He finished 8th behind Sainz and Norris and Verstappen. He just had a bad race after starting 2nd. Even Red Bull were like, okay, now we're going to stop you. If it wasn't for Russell getting disqualified, he would finish 8th, but he did 7th. But still, it's not a very good look for Perez, and they're still trying to keep him. So yeah. P17 is going to be Logan Sargent. He had a quiet qualifying and race. His qualifying was decent enough. I can't remember where he was. He was in Q2 though, was he? I should really look before I start doing the recordings. But his race wasn't that bad, but not as good as well. I think he finished 2nd to last, but he didn't have the best weekend ever. So that's why it's only P17. P16 is going to be Carlos Sainz, the guy I just talked about going to Williams. Now, he didn't have a very good weekend. Leclerc outqualified him massively, and then What did I want to say? Oh, yeah, Leclerc outqualified him massively. And in the race, he had a very weird strategy, but he only managed to finish P7. I don't think that's his fault, but he probably did the best he could. But Leclerc was just so much faster than him this weekend, so that's why it's only P7, P16. P15 is going to be Nico Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg had a really weird race weekend. Okay, he outqualified his teammates, but they're both out in Q1. But he outqualified his teammate in wet conditions by less than, not by a big margin. And in the race, his teammate was faster. I'm not sure why he finished last place. I don't know if he had extra stop. I know he stopped like in the first 6 or 7 laps. He stopped for the first. He was the first driver to stop, and I think that compromised his race. But just a mid weekend for him. Not much I can talk about there. Just not that good. P14 is going to be Pierre Gasly. Qualifying, he was outqualified by his teammates by a substantial margin. His teammate went to Q3, he was out in Q2. And in the race, his teammate scored points, he didn't. He fell back a little bit. And yeah, that's all I can say. Gasly didn't have his best weekend, didn't have a great weekend, but his teammate just outperformed him everywhere. And that's just how it is. P13 is going to be Lance Stroll. Not a very good qualifying. His teammate had a very good qualifying, but Stroll didn't have one in the conditions they usually say he's pretty good in. So I don't know what he's good in then. His race also, he made up a few positions. He had a decent enough race, but I don't think he could have got into the points. I think Ricciardo and the drivers ahead of him were just faster, and his teammate just had such a good week finally. So yeah, Lance Stroll is only P13. P12 is going to be Kevin Magnussen. Like when I spoke to Hulkenberg, just I don't think the car was there this weekend. Qualifying, they both went out in Q1, but in the race, Magnussen was had more pace. He had a better race pace, and I think he had a few good overtaking maneuvers. And I just think he had a better race than his teammates by a bit. But yeah, that's just me. So Kevin Magnussen, P12. P11 is going to be Lando Norris. And Lando Norris had a good enough qualifying, but I'm very disappointed in his race and his race pace. Oscar Piastri showed what that car can do, and Norris could not even overtake Verstappen. He made a mistake in one of the sectors. I can't remember when, but he could have overtaken Verstappen and maybe still Leclerc, because it was close enough for those three to switch around. But McLaren also didn't have the best strategy, and Norris didn't make the best of those tires. But once again, he's fighting against Verstappen, and Verstappen has the upper hand. So I'm just a little bit disappointed in Norris. That's why he's in 11th, not scoring any points today. P10 is going to be our first point scorer. It is Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas had a very good qualifying once again. I think he's just doing very good in the qualifying sessions this year, because in the car he has, you can't really see how he performs or not. But if you compare him to Zhou, he's just doing so much better. And in the race, he didn't have the best race. The pace of the car wasn't there. But still, Bottas did a good enough job to get into the top 10 this weekend. P9 is going to be Alexander Albon. Now, Albon had a good qualifying, was almost in the top 10. And then in the race itself, he lost a few positions, couldn't get up a few places. So that's why he's only P9. He did a good weekend. He had a good weekend, but not a great weekend. P8 is going to be Esteban Ocon. When I talked about his teammate, I said he had a very good qualifying, very impressive, and his race pace was very impressive as well. Getting 2 points after the disqualification, it's very good for him. And yeah, Ocon is, I think, is reinvigorated after signing the contract with Haas. P7 is going to be the winner and then disqualification sitter, or whatever you call it. George Russell, why is it only P7? It's very close between the top 8 or the top 6, 7. It's like super close. I think the qualifying he didn't do good enough to start among the top field, but the race was amazing and he was definitely my driver of the race. It's just hard to say how much that 1.5 kilos helped him, because I saw comparisons between his tires and other drivers' tires, and it looks a little bit sketchy. So I don't know how much I can give it to him for keeping those tires under control if he had advantage. So he's still seventh, still a very good drive for George Russell, probably his best win, but then it got took away. Very smart driving from him. P7 is the only thing he can manage today. P6 is going to be Fernando Alonso. It's the first time in a while since he's been in the top 6 on my list. Scoring points after a very impressive qualifying and a very impressive race. He's starting to get back to the normal self. Hopefully after the summer break he can do what he usually does and just finish the year strong. I really hope for him that happens. Our top 5 and our first driver in top 5 is Daniel Ricciardo. He had an exceptional, I don't know what I was trying to say, an exceptional weekend and a very good qualifying. It's hard to see how much faster he was than his teammate in qualifying, but he did good enough to start, I think, P11 or P12, and he got points after the disqualification. Even though he had a very good race, I think he was the top dog, just after Verstappen in the Red Bull camp this weekend. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't put him in the seat. We'll talk about that in the next video about the whole performance thing. So yeah, 4th place is going to be Oscar Piastri. He missed out on the top 3 by so little, and he almost won the race, and that was crazy because Oscar Piastri, after winning his first race the previous weekend, has just went from top to top, and he's just amazing at the moment. I'm very shocked about how good he is at the moment, and yeah, his qualifying wasn't the best, but he was like 0.02 or something behind his teammate, which is very good still. And in the race itself, he was one of my top 3, and he just had an amazing weekend. So yeah, only mistake he made was hitting the guy with the pits. So that's all. Okay, our podium sitters is going to be 3rd place Max Verstappen. Verstappen had a very consistent weekend. I really thought he was going to dominate, and he dominated over his teammate in qualifying, and in the race I think he doesn't have that dominant of a car anymore. So P4 after disqualification I think is the best he could have done. So yeah, he did a very good weekend. Was so much faster than his teammates. It's not hard if your teammate is Perez, but still very, very, very good from Verstappen. P2 is going to be the winner after the disqualification, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton was actually the one I thought is going to win the race, even though I thought he was going to get Russell and then overtake him and everything. But once again, I don't know how much advantage Russell had. But P2 before this qualification was still very good. He had a very good start. In his first 2 stints was amazing, and he had also a very good qualifying, out-qualifying his teammates by a substantial margin. But still, Hamilton had a very, very good weekend, and he's only P2, but the number 1 spot just had it better. And my winner of the review is going to be Leclerc. He was my winner of qualifying, or the best driver in qualifying. He had a freaking amazing qualifying lap, getting pole position, but only finishing P3. I don't think the Ferrari had a pace to fight for the win, in all honesty. But Leclerc did the best he could because he didn't have top speed at all. I saw the top speed, and yeah, Leclerc made the best of it. Finishing P3 is probably the best he could have done. Keeping Verstappen and Norris behind was very good. So yeah, P1 is Leclerc, and it's good to see him and Ferrari get back to pace. That was my ranking. Let's quickly go over my predictions and how bad it went again this time. I said Science was going to have a good drive. He did not. Sorry, Science. My bad drive was Kick Sauber. Yes, they had even a worse weekend because their other car didn't even finish the first 2 laps. Very bad from Kick Sauber. They really need to get their shit straight. I said Paul is going to be for Verstappen, and I did say in the video if Verstappen gets pole and he gets a penalty because there was talks about it, that will still count. So that is correct. Fifth place Russell, no, he won and then got disqualified. Fourth place Norris, so close to a fourth place. If it just overtook freaking Verstappen, but no. P3 is going to be Carlos Sainz, and no, he finished only P6. P2 Leclerc, just one place behind, so that was so close. And P1 for Verstappen, I really thought he was going to win, but he only managed P4. Okay, and my crazy prediction was Alonso's going to have a good race, and he did, so I'm happy with that. I only got 3 out of 9 correct. That means I am on 6 out of 18, which is not that bad, but it's also not that good. Okay, thank you for watching this video. My summer break ranking video where I rank all 20 drivers will be on somewhere this week. I'm going to try to make it as fast as possible. And then in that video, I'll also talk about the one driver that needs to be swapped mid-season. So yeah, if you're looking forward to that, please like and subscribe, and then you'll know when it comes out. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your summer break. Cheers.